Hello everybody and welcome back to LELB Society. This is Dr. Hariri, the creator of LELB Society, and I'm here with another presentation, this time on this topic: learn English vocabulary with pictures, including 2,820 visual words. And as the title indicates by itself, this time I'm going to give you more information about why you need to learn abstract and difficult English vocabulary with pictures and images. And here is the table of contents. I can skip that. And as this is typical of my presentations, I'm going to give you the link to this article in the description area. You can go there and click on the link to just be redirected to this page and study that in more depth. So, why learn English vocabulary with pictures? So, if you learn English vocabulary with pictures and images, you learn new words more easily and for a longer period of time, because from a neurological point of view, your brain automatically makes some associations between the visual words and their meanings and concepts. This becomes even more important when you need to learn abstract vocabulary, not concrete vocabulary, which don't have any specific physical or tangible manifestation. Clarity is so crucial for the brain to learn and remember the information when you try to memorize a myriad of abstract vocabulary, such as, for example, egotist, vivacious, agoraphobia, carpe diem, finicky, parody, etc. For every one of these abstract vocabulary items, actually there is an illustrated flashcard, and you can just visit this page and browse these words on your own. You little by little tend to forget them when hundreds of thousands of these abstract words are stacked up in your mind in a superficial manner. That is, if you do not use visual learning to learn these abstract words, actually this might happen to you. Comparatively, you can click on the hyperlinks in the preceding paragraphs, learning those abstract words through visual learning. It is quite obvious that you can learn and remember these selected abstract words in English more effectively with the provided pictures. And the next heading is visual learning versus translation. Learning vocabulary in context with pictures is a more effective way compared to translating them into your mother tongue. This is because learning vocabulary through translation cannot make robust connections between words and meanings to recall information successfully. Furthermore, it is important to note that your brain is chiefly an image processor and not a very efficient word processor. In fact, your visual cortex is relatively larger and more developed compared to the part of your brain that processes abstract words. To compare text and pictures, it should be noted that text is a combination of codes that need to be decoded and interpreted to understand the intended meaning. So text is not instinctive. On the other hand, pictures are innately and instantaneously recognizable and understandable. That's why pictures are more easily memorable in comparison to text. Now, activate the right hemisphere of your brain, which is in charge of visual learning. The word lateralization in neurology means that the left and the right hemispheres of the brain are specialized in processing and interpreting specific sensory inputs to make sense of what is happening around us. So with regard to lateralization, it is interesting to know that language learning generally occurs in the left side of the brain. As a result, by learning a second language, you'll be using the left hemisphere of your brain more dominantly in comparison to the right side of your brain. So when you learn English vocabulary with pictures, you'll be using both of your brain hemispheres almost at the same time and equally well. Accordingly, your brain will be used holistically and effectively to take care of vocabulary learning in a more meaningful and profound manner. This is because processing and interpreting visual data like pictures mainly takes place in the right hemisphere of your brain. And this is technically referred to as picture superiority effect, which means that a person can notice and recall a picture more easily and quickly in comparison to plain text. That's why in English we say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And using multimedia for vocabulary learning. At LELB Society, we have transcended, it means go beyond, using merely visuals to facilitate learning English vocabulary. Recently, we have embedded videos and podcasts in each vocabulary lesson to practice listening comprehension as well. Moreover, thanks to our installed text-to-speech software program, our students can easily select any text and listen to the selected text on demand. It is important to note that learning vocabulary in our online community is not simply restricted to using visuals and pictures as mentioned above. In fact, visual learning is just one aspect of our comprehensive vocabulary enrichment package. Our users can learn advanced English vocabulary in real contexts and examples with clear definitions, synonyms, antonyms, parts of speech, videos, podcasts, and interactive comment forms. Visual vocabulary in categories. The growing category of English vocabulary in context with pictures at LELB Society includes the vocabulary items from the following vocabulary books or packages. 504 absolutely essential words, 1100 words you need to know, 601 words you need to know, GRE vocabulary flashcards in real context, and vocabulary for the college-bound student. Visualization in vocabulary learning. Illustrated flashcards at LELB Society are so useful for visual vocabulary learning. To learn English, to learn each visual word, we recommend you scan the photo with your eyes even before reading the definition. Then, closing your eyes, try to make connections or associations between each word and its meaning through visualization in your mind without any verbalization, without uttering any word or mumbling any word. In the next stage, to reinforce your mastery, you can proceed to read the definition and real example for each word in our visual dictionary and thesaurus. In the end, if you have any questions about each visual word, leave them in the comment box at the bottom of each vocabulary item and expect to receive our detailed clarification and assistance immediately. Something like this screenshot taken from the comment form at the LELB Society. We immediately answer all the questions. So, moreover, you can use our comment forms at the bottom of each visual word, making your own sentences about each visual vocabulary entry in our picture dictionary and receive our professional feedback. We will correct any mistake you may make in your examples in the comment forms on the basis of comprehensible output hypothesis, according to which second language users acquire the correct forms of language by failing to transmit a message and having to try again in interaction with language partners and native speakers, so they can learn language by using that and making some mistakes, trying to learn from their mistakes. Okay, visual learning for people with hearing loss. People with hearing loss tend to become more visually oriented learners as they try to compensate for their hearing disability through visual learning. LELB Society is pleased to announce that our visual dictionary and thesaurus in real context can be of great assistance to ESL students with hearing impairment. With our carefully illustrated flashcards, hearing impaired students can easily remember highly abstract vocabulary because these visuals and pictures are intended to add meaning and life to plain text. In other words, people with hearing loss can perfectly learn English vocabulary with pictures and turn even the most abstract vocabulary into concrete words to make them more tangible. We provide free education for persons with disabilities because Dr. Muhammad Hussein Hariri, that is me, the founder of LELB Society, is also visually impaired. You might have noticed that because actually I increased the font size of actually my display to make a presentation. This is because of the fact that I'm visually impaired, one of the reasons. And also it is more readable for you also. The use of multimedia files, including visuals, is crucial for teaching vocabulary to the deaf or people with hearing impairments. For these students, the use of word walls and semantic maps is also advisable. Learn one visual word every day. Our premium resources at LELB Society are getting better and better every day. This is because our bilingual Academy of English and Persian is in fact a wiki whose content is developed by the team of our contributors such as authors, teachers, and website developers. Among all our resources, the category of English vocabulary in context with pictures is the most significant educational package in our online community. To give you a hint about the dynamic feature of our growing vocabulary category, we call your attention to the bottom of this post, where you can see the latest visual vocabulary items published at LELB Society with date stamps. As we don't use any newsletter for privacy issues, we encourage you to follow LELB Society on our social media platforms, particularly Instagram and YouTube, listed at the footer of our website to stay notified of our newest lessons and posts. So just simply go to the footer area of our website and you can find our social media buttons. And you can follow us to stay notified of the latest lessons. Learn English vocabulary thematically. Okay, so in our visual dictionary and thesaurus, you have this unique opportunity to learn English vocabulary with pictures in themes or topics that are semantically related, that are related from a meaningful point of view. It means they are related in terms of meaning. As a result, you can expand your vocabulary and learn English for specific purposes. For instance, the following archived pages or tags consist of all visual vocabulary about music, technology, science, art, education, happiness, psychology, and their like. So you can browse all the popular tags that are used in our posts and pages at LELB Society. In fact, all current posts and pages that exceed 4,200 ones in March of 2023 are thematically related to each other like a cobweb or network of visual words or phrases. This is one of the reasons for which, according to similarweb.com, so I'm going to give you the link, and the average visit duration of each user at LELB Society is over 1 hour, which is almost unprecedented. It means each user usually, on average, spends over 1 hour on LELB Society in each session. So maximize your learning vocabulary with useful sections. The picture dictionary of LELB Society is not just limited to visual learning, as ESL students can take their vocabulary mastery to the next level and maximize their educational experience. To give you a better perspective on learning English vocabulary with images, we call your attention to the following sections for each visual vocabulary item in our picture dictionary. So for each vocabulary item, you can find these sections. Breadcrumbs as a navigational aid to show our students their current location on our language learning website. 2. Expressive and vivid picture or illustration for each vocabulary item with little exaggeration to arouse more emotion and awareness in ESL students. 3. International Phonetic Alphabet or IPA to pronounce and enunciate each word phonetically accurate. 4. Table of contents to navigate through different sections more easily with a single click to enjoy a better user experience. 5. Simple and clear definition of visual words. 6. Synonym of each word to expand the range of your vocabulary, academic vocabulary, with our visual thesaurus. 7. Video of each word embedded in the lesson to learn English with multimedia and improve your listening comprehension as well. 8. Real context in which each word or phrase has been used to add contextualization to visualization and improve your reading comprehension as well. 9. Antonym of visual vocabulary, if there is any, by the way, to learn English vocabulary with antonyms, synonyms, antonyms, to expand your vocabulary actually. Part of a speech of visual vocabulary to learn the noun, verb, adjective, adverb form of each word. Text-to-speech functionality to listen to any selected text. Tags of each word to expand your vocabulary in relevant themes or topics. Previous and next post navigation to browse our visual vocabulary from a chronological point of view. 14. Related lessons for each single visual word to enrich your word knowledge with 5 related or 3, sometimes 3 related vocabulary that are selected thematically. 15. Interactive comment box at the bottom of each post to ask us your questions in either text or audio for our professional feedback, assistance, and clarification. So, okay. As mentioned earlier, at LELB Society, your educational experience is not restricted to visual learning when it comes to vocabulary enrichment. As the above photo illustrates, in our online community, you have this unique chance to learn visual words in real context, namely movie scripts and film criticism, song lyrics, good English documentaries, great short stories in English, and scientific articles. We use content-based instruction or CBI to give more priority to interesting, useful, and challenging content or subject matter as our language resources. CBI has been proved to be effective in immersing ESL students in English because it can increase the level of motivation in English students. When learners realize that they are learning something else worthwhile except English, they'll be more enthusiastic about continuing and optimizing their language learning process. And now the last heading is New English Vocabulary with Pictures. The following are the latest vocabulary items now with images used in authentic context with synonyms, antonyms, multimedia files, and parts of speech. All these visual words are thematically categorized for those ESL learners who have a thirst for learning vocabulary in associated themes or topics. And these are their latest vocabulary items. Audiophile and learn English vocabulary with pictures, grandiloquent, agoraphobia, vivisection, brazen, coy, nugatory, and if you just click on this button, you will access the rest, including actually over 2,820 visual words in context. And as you can see, this the author of this article is me, that is Dr. Muhammad Hussein Haririas. If you are interested to publish your articles at LELB Society in your own name, just visit our website at lelb.net and contact us for more information. Alright, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also share this video with those who might find this content useful. Thank you so much for your attention, and bye bye everybody.